Hello, my little dreamers. It has been a long, hot minute. I'm not really sure what I've been doing the last few months, but clearly I haven't been communicating very well or updating you guys or just staying in touch with anybody. It has been such a journey, and rather than share a bunch of stuff on YouTube, I decided to take some time off. I had a whole bunch of things happen which I'm going to get into now, so get comfy, get a cup of tea, and I'll tell you all about it. So, if you've been here a while, you would know that my friends online, some of my subscribers and friends, decided to surprise me about a year and a half ago at Christmas time with a gift to be able to go to America and stay with my very best friend Melody and her family, Ronnie and Caden. If you don't know that story, you should probably go back and go over my channel because it's very long and I don't have the time right now to go into that. But I made friends with Melody on YouTube. She's pretty much saved my life. We became friends about 6 years ago, and through my subscribers and friends, I was fortunate enough to go to America last year. I went for approximately 6 to 7 weeks. I had a 90-day tourist visa, and we were staying at the Mainvilles home whilst me and Abby were there. We got to go to Yosemite, we got to go to Disneyland, we were in LA. In fact, I actually want to do a whole other video just talking about that whole experience. Even though I vlogged whilst I was there, I'd love to just kind of go over it and go down memory lane and go over my favourite things about the trip that I was there. But the reason I'm telling you all this to catch up is because we came home in January. There was a bit of a delay getting home, and we were stuck at the airport for 5 days. Abby ended up having COVID. It was a bit of a nightmare to go home, but we got home and everything was fine. I got a new job. I was working in a cafe. Abby was still working. Stuart was working, and life was going quite good, quite good. And then my job, unfortunately, had to close down, and they couldn't get the staff, just the effects of COVID, as is a lot of places, and I wasn't able to work there anymore. So I decided to try and start up a new face painting business. I have lots of experience working with kids, face painting, birthday parties, you name it, I've done it. And I love doing that. I love working with kids, I love play, I love just making them smile. And I thought that face painting would be a great way to do that, to make some money and have a business and, you know, try and do something with my life, because it's pretty boring just sitting home every single day and not doing anything. Now, the fact is, I don't have to work, and people say, why don't you have to work? I don't have to work because I have a health condition. I have several health conditions. Some being mental conditions, some being physical conditions. I have an autoimmune disease, folate deficiency pernicious anemia, which basically means that my gut doesn't absorb nutrients from food properly. It makes my red blood cells sluggish and slow, which doesn't let oxygen get around my body properly, which means I get extremely tired and fatigued and low energy. Apart from that, I also have PTSD. If you guys have been here a while again, I do have a video on it. If you want to look at that story, I'm not going to go into it now, but I do have PTSD from childhood sexual abuse and other traumas that I faced throughout my life. The reason I'm telling you all that is because it kind of plays into what's kind of happening right now. So I have PTSD and I have autoimmune disorder, which means that by rights, by the government, everything above board, they say I don't actually have to work because of the impact it would have on me, on my life. Now, does that mean that I accept that? Absolutely not. I'm not just going to accept that I can't contribute to life or have a good quality of life. I still want to work, I still want to make money. I understand my own boundaries, my own limits, and I can respect that. I don't sleep very well, so expecting me to work a job where I would have to start at 6 o'clock in the morning probably wouldn't be the best idea. I have a lot of nightmares and sleep associated disorders as well. So it's just, this isn't me making excuses by any means. I want to work, I want to contribute, but I have limits, and much like anybody else that faces some sort of disability, whether that's physical or mental, there is things that, you know, that just wouldn't be appropriate, or you feel like it wouldn't be best suited for you. So anyways, the reason I'm telling you all this is because a few months ago, and I have to be careful because YouTube's very sticky when speaking about other people, so I'm not going to mention names or who they are in relation to me or anything like that. But a few months ago I had a run-in with the person who abused me when I was younger, and there was a bit of a period of time that it was a little bit messy. I really don't want to go into it, but it was making it difficult for me, and I was worried for myself, worried for my kids. I had to take measures to block this person, and even as far as saying that if this person continued, I would have to actually go to the police and things like that. And it was a bit sticky, and yeah, I had to sit down with my kids and explain some things to them that they didn't know about my life. They're older now, they're 17 and 18, so age appropriate. I had to tell them about some things and reveal some things about me that they didn't know previously, which is pretty hard. I mean, nobody ever wants to have that conversation with their child and say, oh, by the way, this happened to me. I try to protect my kids as much as possible, so to have to be in that position was really rough for me. It brought a lot of things up for me, and as I said, I had PTSD, I have PTSD, so it was a lot to cope with mentally. I was really struggling to sleep, so much stress, and it was hard. It was a hard thing to deal with. It just seems to be this issue that just keeps going round and round and round. And you know, when people say, why don't you go to the police, why don't you report what happened to you when you were younger? And I don't know if anybody can understand this, but I just can't. Like, there's just, I can't, not because anybody is threatening me or I would lose people or anything like that. I physically can't. Like, I can't open my mouth to say the things that I would need to say in order for it to go anywhere. And I truly believe that even if it did get to a point where this person was like arrested and charged or whatever, I really don't feel that even if this person went to jail for the rest of their life, I really don't feel that it would bring me any sort of closure or justice. I really don't feel like it would just do any good. So I don't believe this person, you know, goes around doing things to other people. I think it was a circumstantial thing. I really don't want to go into that. That's going into another subject. But anyways, so this person was around. I had to go through a bunch of stress with that. Feeling isolated, feeling lonely, feeling like, you know, who do you speak to? Who do you talk about these things? Like, how do you, like, nobody tells you that as an adult. I mean, sure, you've got doctors and counsellors and all these different things, but when it comes to having a support network of friends, I don't want to put that on you guys, and I don't necessarily think that anybody could help any of the issues, so it's just one of those things. I keep it to myself. But the reason I'm telling you guys all of this, which probably doesn't make any sense, but last week I received a very interesting message from the government. Now in the UK, if you're not from the UK, I'll just give you a really quick breakdown. If you don't have to work, you can get disability payments and you can get money to support your family and stuff if you don't work, or if you're on low income, which I'm sure you have in America as well, or wherever you are. And my circumstances, I'll be very honest with you, is I receive money from the government to live on, to support my family. Now, I don't get money for my kids because they're older now and old enough to support themselves. Stuart isn't working at the moment, and Abby has a part-time job where she makes £200 a month. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So right now I'm only receiving a set amount of money literally just for myself, and we're not talking loads, it's like £500 a month. Like seriously, that is what I get to live on, and I'm not happy with that, of course. Like, I don't think anybody could live on that, cost of living, energy payments and stuff. So, you know, I wanted to try and make myself money, as I said, face painting business, to make some extra income, to support myself, things like that. So the reason I'm telling you all of that is because I got a message last week and the government said that someone had reported me for living in America for 3 months. Now, under the current government UK law, is if you're receiving certain types of payments or disability payments, if you go abroad you have to declare it, and you have to let them know how long you're going away for and when you'll be back, which of course I done. I actually, before I left for America, went down to the office of the DWP and spoke face to face with them and told them I was going away for Christmas, I would be back in January, not a problem. So as you can imagine, this was last year, so for me to get all of a sudden out of nowhere a message last week that says you have been reported because you were living in America for 3 months. So somebody obviously has it in for me, because number one, I wasn't living in America for 3 months. Number two, somebody felt the need to phone the government and tell them that I was. Whether they thought that or not, that's like, whose business is that? If I was trying to commit fraud or anything, do you think I would advertise it all over my social media? Like, I literally told everybody I was going, I filmed whilst I was there, and I came back again. So the thought of someone, it makes me laugh, the thought of someone calling up the government and being like, ooh, Debs is really sneaky, she lived in America for 3 months. No, I didn't. Like, prove that. Because I didn't. I have all my receipts, I have my flight details, and the fact that I already told the government. So the outcome of that was I had to have an interview, and they said I might get sanctioned and investigated for fraud and all these things, and I'm not going to lie, I was terrified, because not that I've done anything wrong, but I've never been in trouble like that before. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, what's happening? Like, have I done something wrong? Because I don't know if you guys remember when I first got to America and we got to San Francisco, they weren't going to let me in. They just, I don't know why, they couldn't understand my accent and there was a language barrier, and they had me sit aside whilst they had to figure out my visa and all this stuff, and that terrified me because it was this big American dude in a security outfit, they had guns and stuff. I was so terrified. I'm from Scotland, we don't do that. So when the government said I had to have this interview, of course I was just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? There's no need for it. Months later. So in my own head, allegedly, I will allege, I cannot prove anything, but to me it feels like the person that I had the disagreement with just recently might be the same person that reported me. Now, I can't prove that, I don't know that, but that's just my assumption from the fact that somebody has had since January to report me and they just reported me, so I don't know. Anyways, I had my interview yesterday and they couldn't have been nicer. They were like, we were told you were living in America for 3 months. I says, no, I wasn't. I went on the 22nd of November. I came back on the 15th of January. There was a delay coming back because of the whole COVID thing where we get stuck in the airport for 5 days. And my previous flight got cancelled as well, so I had to rebook a flight for a later time anyway. I didn't get home until the Tuesday when I was supposed to be back the Thursday, Friday before. So I explained all this to them, and it took 5 minutes. They could not have been nicer to me. And I explained that maybe somebody had it in for me, and they were totally understanding. They said I didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, well, I knew that. I knew I hadn't done anything wrong, because again, why would I advertise all over YouTube if I was trying to hide it from the government? Like, are people so stupid? I'm laughing at that because it is just so stupid that anybody in the world, anybody, even if it wasn't the person I think it is, whoever it is, if you're watching this right now, like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, did you think the government was going to be like, oh, you're getting banned from social media, you're not going to get any money, you're going to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200? Like, what did you think was going to happen? So it didn't work. Whoever thought that I was trying to fraud people or anything, and also the fact that they asked me, did I use my disability money to fund my trip? And no, I didn't, as you guys are my witness. You guys contributed. You guys opened up a GoFundMe that I had no idea about. You surprised me for Christmas, which I honestly still can't believe. I still can't believe I even went to America. Like, you don't understand how much that's just a once in a lifetime dream come true. Cannot believe it. Now, yes, I did speak about maybe moving to America in the future. I did state that I wanted to live there and all that. Of course I would. I've got nothing in Scotland. Trust me when I say that. Scotland just sucks so much, apart from my family, obviously. So that was a thought, that was a thing that I want to work towards, but by no means at any point was it ever stated, mentioned, or anything that I was living abroad. Do you understand what that means? Like, living abroad means that I was residing at a home and lived there. I didn't. Like, if you go on holiday, does that mean you lived in all the places that you visited on vacation? Obviously not. You were just staying there. You were vacating. You were on holiday. Like, duh. Anyways, as much as I'm kind of making humour of that, it really did bother me that somebody would have it in for me to that extent. Like, it just boggles my brain that there's people in this world that instead of, you know, going after real criminals and thieves and nasty people, that they've got nothing better to do than waste their time on trying to ruin my life. And really, it's not going to happen. Like, do you think I've came this far to let the same thing keep bringing me down? Obviously not. And I'm not trying to sound cocky. Listen, I'm not trying to sound cocky at all. This has actually been stressful. Now, yeah, I can come on YouTube and make light of it and make it entertainment. It's a bit of a story, some drama for you. But it is also my life, and I'm not going to lie, it's been a freaking nightmare. So when that was going on, I didn't know how to speak to people or what to say online, because you just get to that point, it's like, why bother, why try if things are just going to keep getting you down, keep coming after you, keep going against you. It feels like every time I'm trying to do something good, something else wants to bring me back down again, and I'm so sick of that life. Like, I can't even tell you how sick of it I am, but that's life. So hold on to the good, learn through the bad, and that's literally life. It's going to be up and down and all around, and you just need to navigate it the best you can, and that is just what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to navigate life the best I can right now. Whether I'm doing right or wrong in other people's eyes isn't actually a priority to me. All I care about is being there for my kids and doing right by them, and they tell me I'm doing a good job, so that's all I really need at the end of the day. But I did want to come on and obviously speak to you guys. I do miss you. You are important to me. You're my dreamers. I'm not going to forget you. I'm not disappearing. I'm not going to be a stranger. I will be here and hopefully get back to my usual happy little self. It's just been hard. It's been a lot to deal with, and yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in my life. Other than that, I'm just trying to go on with it, try to create a little business, trying to get my little apartment done up with the hope that maybe I can move at some point. I really do want to move. I have plans to visit England and go and see some people down there. Maybe I'll go to America again. And if I do, I'll let you guys know. And I'll definitely let the government know. Of course I will. Because contrary to popular belief, I'm not actually a bad person. I don't do anything against the law. I really try to just be out here living my life, you know. I don't actually try to get involved in other people's issues and dramas. I'm not about that, as you guys would know. But anyways, I don't really have much more to say. There'll be stuff coming at some point. I don't know when. Don't judge me for it. Inconsistency is the word of the day. But I'll find my way back because I do miss you guys. I had so much fun with you guys online, playing games and doing challenges and charity things. I just need to deal with a bit of real life stuff at the minute. So I will be back. Just don't hold me to it anytime soon, okay? Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll go now and I'll see you guys soon. Okay.